Hello and welcome. MMS is finally back. I know, it's amazing. I'm on a new rig. Let's go. We're back. Formula 1, round 2 of the Formula 1 World Championship. We're at the Bahrain International Circuit, one of the best circuits ever known to man. And if you disagree, I literally know where you live. We're back. I don't think there's anything else to say. Let's just go down the grid order. So, Esteban Ocon is a pole position. Previous race winner. I mean, he's really speedy. During him, first are good. We have Valtteri Bottas. Down the rest are good. We have Vettel, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Alonso, Verstappen, Russell, Stroll, Raikkonen for an amazing qualifying session. Norris, Sainz Jr., Perez, Gasly, Schumacher, Giovinazzi, Tsunoda, Latifi, Mazepin, Lundgaard, Zhou, Leclerc, Nissany, and Drugovich rounds off the grid. Let's go down to lights now, shall we, Jensen? Fellow AI League owner. Alright, let's go.
Fellow AI League. Right, let's go.
5 red lights.
Dying to turn 1.
Lights out, and the way we go, it's a good start from cars. Vettel already up at the P3 in the middle and between the drivers. He covers off Alonso. Ricciardo goes into the lead, I believe. And it's Ricciardo in the lead. Bottas and Vettel now side by side. And it is Bottas who takes his position. Good start from the Finnish drivers. Now we can see Alonso doing a daring overtake. Ocon already down 4 places. Alonso and Vettel side by side into the S's. Alonso sends it on to Bottas, pushes him wide. And contact between Vettel and Bottas. That's dangerous, boys. Let's not do that. Vettel contact with Bottas. Raikkonen is up into 4th. Jesus Christ. Wait, no. Can we get an onboard lap of Kimi Raikkonen just passing cars like it's 1% AI on the F1 games? This is his start. He gets a good getaway in reception with Russell immediately. He immediately passes Verstappen and Russell into turn 1. Doesn't pass Leclerc, but sticks behind him. In the slipstream of the Ferrari, same power between the two cars. Slipstreams him, sends it to the inside, sends it onto Ocon. Oh, contact with Ocon, punts him out of the way. That might be reviewed by the stewards. We can see Vettel and Bottas side by side, and Vettel pushes Bottas wide, and that's why Kimi Raikkonen currently ahead of his fellow countryman and in 4th. That's Leclerc to the inside of Russell, a bit of a bump there. Stroll and Verstappen side by side, followed by Sergio Perez. Red Bull so far, no points, a double DNF in Australia. I don't think they're happy with anything at the moment. Stroll and Verstappen now battling side by side, a bit of contact between the two, but nothing else. Although Perez now to the inside of the Canadian, and that's a beautiful move. Immediately goes to the inside of his teammate as well for the good measure. And there you go, that's Sergio Perez ahead of his teammate, but that allow now Stroll to be side by side of the Red Bull driver. The Mercedes power is way better than Honda, but Verstappen can somewhat pull away, probably thanks to slipstream from his teammate. Oh, contact, and that's... Oh dear. That's 4 cars without wings. That's 4 cars without wings, and I think the last driver who suffered in that accident could have been Pierre Gasly. Let's see on board with Nikita Mazepin. Oh, that is just a domino effect. You see, Stroll pushes Verstappen wide, and Norris doesn't react on time. Hits into him, and a separate incident between Gasly and Sainz here. Gasly just doesn't react on time. This is a massive racing incident. Nikita Mazepin now, that will put him most likely into points. Oh, sorry, that's Mick Schumacher. I'm blind. I mistook the number. Yeah, but a lot of cars without wings. It's unusual to see a Formula 1 car without a rear wing. Back to the top, it's Ricciardo and Alonso side by side through the S's, and it will be the man who finished P2 in the previous race into the lead. No, I don't think so. Ricciardo rises rear wheel, and that's Vettel now up into 2nd.
Kimi Raikkonen rounding outside?
Maybe. No, it's Ricciardo. Ricciardo to the inside of Vettel. He took defense into offense, and he's ahead of the Aston Martin driver. Not really. On board with Raikkonen. Ricciardo pushes Vettel as wide as he could. They're gonna go side by side. Vettel pushes Ricciardo wide some more. Oh, still in touch, but Vettel pushes Ricciardo physically a bit out there, and He gets the move done, and now Kimi Räikkönen, ladies and gentlemen, for the Alfa Romeo Racing Orlen team up into P3. Yes or no? No, that's a horrible contact there with Ricardo, and it's not going well. Perez and Russell now. Perez again involved in a shady incident there. Not good. Giovinazzi, just like his teammate, probably going to climb the ladder. Nicola Latifi, meanwhile, has been in the pit lane. Why? So, Jensen, how would you rate these first few laps?
Very interesting, and that's really all I have to say.
Yes.
Very insightful commentator.
Yeah. Oh, let's see what's happened with Nicola Latifi here.
I don't know if he's clipped someone coming out of turn 4, is it? Turn 3?
Oh, yeah. So it was Schumacher and Gasly battling, and he just runs into the back of Schumacher.
Yeah.
That's a silly mistake. Perez doing an absolute amazing drive here, trying to maybe overtake George Russell. A bit of contact there, a bit of a punt, side by side, into turn 2, into turn 3, and it's Sergio Perez through. Leclerc now on the back of the Mercedes driver. Ferrari currently second in the Constructors' Championship with 18 points. 25 behind Alpine. Gasly and Norris have came into the pits. Same with Stroll and Norris and all the other people involved in the massive incident that happened at the exit at Isdella and Stroll. What did they do? Oh, they did a drive-through. They all did a drive-through. Because the pits are in theory not... Then why did Latifi get serviced? Why is Alonso already pitting? I mean, sure, Alpine's strategy did help them in Melbourne when they pitted very early. But Alonso...
Special moment.
It is a special moment, yes. Maybe the FIA didn't allow them to pit. I don't know what happened there, but 4 cars enter the pit lane and still have damage. On board with it, you can see how much downforce this car has as we see multiple sparks coming underneath the Aston Martin. He's now right behind Fernando Alonso, his championship rival from the good old days. From 2010 and 2012. These two have a lot of history between each other. Now in totally different teams. Still gonna battle for a race lead. Ocon, meanwhile, has fallen down to 7th. That's, I think, the biggest bra moment yet. Behind one of the worst Tier 1 cars, if not the worst Tier 1 cars. The Red Bull. The Honda engine is really bad and it's not helping them currently. Is it? Yeah, that's Delatrà now properly coming in. Don't know how about the rest of these guys. But Latifi is catching them. Alonso is coming in this lap, which means Sebastian Vettel is... Oh wait, Sebastian Vettel is also on low fuel. So Alonso is going to pit a lap ahead, before Sebastian Vettel probably does. Vettel now on the back straight, chasing down the Spaniard here. Following through on board with the Aston Martin car. Breaking down into...
Quite a few cars in the pits right now.
Yeah, because they finally pitted.
Oh yeah, I'm thick.
It happens. So Vettel now, he tried to make a move there, but only closed up on Fernando Alonso. But we're going to come in with Fernando into the pit lane. Kimi Räikkönen is now officially in 3rd and has a very stable gap over Sergio Perez. Let's see what pit stop will Fernando Alonso get. Shady pit lane here. Drop down. And it's not a good pit stop. Oh, Jesus Christ. What's going on with the Alpine team? The strategy has seemingly worked out last time. Now the long pit stop might have just ruined Fernando's race. Because he will rejoin behind all the teams that have qualified quite low in the field. You can see Tsunoda, Schumacher, Zhou, Mazepin. You can see Nissany and Drugovich now side by side. And then you have Fernando Alonso absolutely dead in this race. Raikkonen coming in, so is Vettel. Ricciardo also low, so we might see him come in as well. As Vettel is about to lap Gasly on lap 5. Yeah, sure. Okay, done. So Daniel Ricciardo now chasing Sebastian Vettel. Vettel having to conserve a lot in the slipstream. Oh, he's right behind his rival here. Ricciardo finished 5th in the Australian Grand Prix, so he's still in the Championship 5. He's still doing wonders for the McLaren team. Can say the same about Lando Norris as now he tries to get as much slipstream as he can out of Sebastian Vettel as the Aston Martin driver comes into the pit lane. Let's see what Raikkonen will give us. So Vettel gets dropped. Yeah, it's not the best pit stop. Very late, very long. Raikkonen is also already dropped. Hello. Raikkonen is already out. Raikkonen and Perez are both out. Sebastian Vettel has been jumped by both of them. Kimi Raikkonen rejoins in 7th. Right ahead of his teammate Antonio Giovinazzi. Well, right ahead. Quite a margin, but you get the point. Ahead of his teammate, Perez. Oh, and that is Mazepin's wing off. That is Mazepin's wing off. That's not good. He just went to the back of Perez. That will probably make some people happy. Oh, that's a mistake from Lundgaard. Blocks Alonso. That's not good. He's in the Alpine Academy. So, yeah, I don't think that's going to give you some bonus points on your card, mate. As now you can see Vettel going for a triple, no, only a double, no, a triple overtake. Fails it. Side by side of Fernando Alonso now has to let him through. Mazepin in the middle of a circuit, he's just trying to not get into people's way. It's really hard around this circuit to drive without a front wing. Back to the front, Ricciardo is into the pit lane as he nearly laps Pierre Gasly. A large gap over Valtteri Bottas and Esteban Ocon. Let's see how the McLaren driver will serve his pit stop. So, Jensen, what do you think about the Alpine strategic department, or rather the lack of it? And Ricciardo gets a good pit stop.
Yeah, that's a very decent pit stop there for Ricciardo. But I think the Alpine strategy, that is a very special strategy. I think they just put in random number generator in Google to decide today's race.
Yeah, he did just like, yeah, what lap are you coming in? I don't know, mate. Open Google. I do not know, mate. Wait, what's a French accent? You know, you speak French. Give me some French accents.
I'm not good with French accents. I don't think people need to hear that.
Yeah, but anyway, they're just like, I don't know what strategy we're making today. Just generate the laps we're coming on. How many? I don't know. Generate the number for how many pit stops you will do.
I know they probably just picked up the air and just lobbed it into how many feet it went.
So Mazepin came in for his wing change. Schumacher currently in 10th. Have not scored points yet. Schumacher was close though, finished 13th. But now Perez comes down to his inside. Perez also hasn't scored a point since he DNF'd last race. That's a very, very dangerous overtake there. Locks up the tyre. But makes them move. Work. Verstappen now right in front of Raikkonen, or rather, I should say Raikkonen right behind Verstappen, as Verstappen has been very critical of the Red Bull car, threatening Red Bull to leave the team if the performance continues to be as woeful as it is. Raikkonen now makes a move, and this is an embarrassment to Red Bull, Jesus Christ. And there's contact between the two. Verstappen goes off circuit to avoid further damage. Still though, it's a massive joke for Red Bull to be in such a situation. And it's still Raikkonen attacking Verstappen. That's a daring overtake from the 40-something-year-old driver, attacking the youngest Formula 1 winner yet.
I mean, it's currently net P2, so
yeah, that's been an
incredible start. Yeah, net P2.
Oh, Verstappen of a slide.
Verstappen nearly died.
The Red Bull really seems like an awful car.
Yeah.
You would expect them to nail the specs considering they fit the era they dominated the most. But you'd be wrong. Ricciardo now and Leclerc. It's an easy move from Daniel. And Leclerc also locks up, trying to not risk it too much. So Daniel Ricciardo is pretty much net P1. Ocon slipstreaming Valtteri Bottas here. Definitely on a different strategy than his teammate Fernando Alonso, who's by the way in 11th. So maybe, just maybe, Alonso's strategy isn't so bad. Although he did massively benefit from 4 cars taking each other out and having to double pit basically. So now chasing down Valtteri Bottas, and it's not a move just yet. Ricciardo also lining up a move on George Russell. Mercedes have had a very disappointing Australian Grand Prix. It went from a good result to an absolute nightmare in a very short span, with Russell managing third for the team, which is, I mean, good, but Bottas started on pole, didn't manage to do anything out of it. And now Ricciardo to the inside of George Russell, and it's a clean move, easy as you like it. Well, George Russell still there, a bit of contact, but he continues on. Perez chasing down Antonio Giovinazzi. Alonso has now moved himself up into 10th, only to come into the pits now. Care?
Great strategy.
Astonishing now. Daniel Ricciardo and Ocon all over the place. And Ricciardo does the shimmy block, and that's questionable, but I mean, gets the move on. The drivers seem to be very aggressive today with the moves they make. No retirements yet, only a few incidents that have been labelled as racing incidents. Kimi Raikkonen, look at him there in the background, as Perez has gone past Antonio Giovinazzi. Daniel Ricciardo now chasing down Valtteri Bottas, their current race leader, as Ricciardo himself is now low on fuel, so I think what Alonso, Ricciardo and Vettel might be doing is doing a short fuel runs. I don't want to say that, I'd rather say tyre, but welcome to the factor. They're doing short fuel runs to catch up through the field. Oh my days, Ricciardo, that's a helly of a move, and it works. Daniel Ricciardo, your race leader. As Kimi Raikkonen also low on fuel, attacking Charles Leclerc. Is Ferrari's career over?
Yes.
Yeah, Raikkonen, does he get the move? He does. Oh my god. At this stage, I believe Ferrari are outscoring Ferrari.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, it's a slaughterhouse. On Motor Esteban Ocon, who's catching up to Bottas. Bottas seems to be struggling, maybe on the set of tyres. Maybe it's time to come into the pit lane. Speaking of coming into the pit lane, Fernando Alonso. Second stop of the race. Perez. Perez is coming in this lap. Vettel also on the field, but not coming in. Alonso coming out. Hello, Nicholas Latifi. And that's about it. Ricciardo low on fuel, but not coming in just yet. Made a good 2.6 second gap onto Bottas. Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen legitimately moves into fourth. That's such a clean overtake onto Russell. What, I don't understand.
I think the FIA is just going to investigate that. This is illegal.
This is 20. This is literally. It's like he's 21 again. He's just moving left, right, centre. Although now he's coming into the pit lane and gives. Does he give the position back to Russell? Not really. Ooh, he swerves in front. Perez into the pit lane. Let's see that stop. It's god awful. Let's not look at that stop anymore. Vettel is coming in. Leclerc now chasing down the man who just had a run of his life. Alfa Romeo yet to score points as well this season, so if their strategy here with Raikkonen will pay off, there's going to be a big payout. Ricciardo coming in as well this lap. Vettel, then we have Giovinazzi, Tsunoda, Joe Lundgaard, Nissany, Drugovic, Perez, Alonso, Latifi, Mazepin, Deletras, Stroll, Sainz Jr., Norris and Gasly, who's dead. Very dead. We're also chasing down Esteban Ocon. Jensen, did you think Esteban Ocon has a shot at the title here? You know, wins the previous race, pole position here.
Yeah, I think given that record, you think he should be challenging for the title. If he can put the car on pole and he can win the race, then yeah, sure. And that's really it, to be honest. If he can show he can master the car, he can put it on pole, he can put it into places that should be challenging for titles, then yeah.
Here we go. Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Vettel, all into the pit lane. Let's see. McLaren so far had a good... Yeah, that's another good pit stop for Ricciardo. 3.0. Ooh, that's a
Here
lock-up.
comes Raikkonen.
Ooh, that's a bad pit stop for Vettel. Raikkonen, good pit stop. I think it was 4.4. But it's a good
Yeah,
pit stop.
4.4.
It was a good pit stop nonetheless. A bit of lock-ups here and there through the field. He will be behind Dragovic, but, you know, fresh rubber and all that. Vettel is out just now. He will be behind Alonso. Alonso is low on fuel again.
Now that is a very weird strategy.
What is Alpine doing with Alonso?
Ooh, nearly.
Yeah, Perez got a bit lucky there. Here we go. Russell and Ocon now battling for position. Russell chasing down the Frenchman, but I don't think he can get close enough. Mercedes are not even that dominant anymore. The new regulations have worked in the sense of stopping Mercedes domination, but will that open a window for new domination is the question. Anyways, as now we move on into the race further and further. Gasly and Norris have been lapped, I believe. As there is a McLaren there, that's... well, no, it's not a McLaren, it was Verstappen. Damn. Here we go, Ocon, Bottas and Russell battling for the lead. It's a Mercedes sandwich with a nice blue filling. Through the S's. Very close, very nice. Leclerc catching up to this fight as well. Charles Leclerc had also finished P4 in the Australian Grand Prix. Alonso is under the pit lane for the third time this race. Seriously, what is the Alpine strategy team doing?
That is the most confusing strategy, probably to date in F1.
A 6-stop strategy. Also,
I think the record is 4.
Yeah.
Like in a normal race, it's 4, and that won the race. So maybe they're onto something.
I mean, Button won a race with 6 drives through the pit lane.
I mean, that was Canada though. That was an upside down race.
Yep. Oh, Ocon very close to hitting Bottas on the rear now. This is the proper fight now. Daniel Ricciardo with the fastest lap, 1:26.2. Pretty fast. Here we go. Ocon finally manages to make the move that allows Russell to close up to Bottas. Russell doesn't make the move. Ocon and Bottas side by side. Ocon loses the position, and we're back to square one. Leclerc might make a move onto here. No, yes, actually Leclerc is catching up to these guys. Obviously the Ferrari is a bit underpowered, but, you know.
What a time to be alive as a Tifosi.
Yes, they are finally not the worst team from the top teams. That has been passed to Red Bull. Schumacher still in the points. Lundgaard managed to put himself. Why was Russia most wanted added? Anyways, Raikkonen low on fuel, which means ding ding ding. It's pit stop time for him very soon. Okay, Jesus Christ, guys. Esteban Ocon chasing now. He's getting better lines, that's the thing. Bottas is seemingly struggling to keep the lead now. He can keep the gap, but the gap gets, you know, lower and lower as we go further on in the race. The straights don't help him, as Ocon uses them to pull closer via slipstream. So it's really not looking good for Valtteri Bottas here. Here we go, Esteban Ocon once again. To the inside, Bottas moves to the outside curb, and this time Esteban Ocon takes the lead of the race. So once again,
think that's the championship right there.
Yep. Call on it quits.
Anyway, so getting closer and closer by the laps.
Yep, he's getting closer. Russell is also getting a bit eager to get past Bottas, as you can see with his different lines here. Max Verstappen. Oh wait, Leclerc is coming in. Gearbox failure. He's stuck in 5th. Charles Leclerc is out of the race. As we have the two Mercedes cars battle, Russell trying to move on Bottas. Verstappen is trying to get past Leclerc, who has no power. Schumacher's into the pit lane. Scheduled stop? Question mark. No, it isn't. Schumacher lost his front wing.
Death.
What happened? So, Leclerc is out. Schumacher lost his wing. Ocon leads. What happened? Tsunoda. Okay, that's a bra moment from Mick Schumacher, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
He just locks up. Luckily, no damage for Tsunoda. Oh, Russell locked up. Oh no. Oh, that's his rivalry of what has done for a few laps. Max Verstappen, meanwhile, amazing drive. Antonio. Oh, you can see how broken this car sounds.
Yeah, guys, you can see how broken the car is.
You can hear.
Yes, here. I'm having a stroke again.
Yes.
Beside that stupid engine. Yes. Anyways, Giovinazzi up into P6, going to be promoted to P5 when Leclerc retires.
Yep. Ocon comfortably in the lead for now. Raikkonen is coming in. Then we have the
again.
The Williams of Nissany, followed by Lundgaard, Zhou and Drugovich, so the back markers. So let's see, Kimi Raikkonen. This is his third stop.
We're only midway into the race.
I mean, you don't know what's going on in like the mind of an F1 engineer. 2.9. He will jump Vettel. No, he won't. Okay, that was the minimap deceived me. Latifi. Oh no. Oh, Latifi. Oh, this is not gonna end well. Yeah, Latifi goes sideways. Perez goes side by side, and it's Latifi through. And it actually has an element of triple disaster. Wow. Latifi now to the inside of Kimi Raikkonen. Oh, it's a bit naughty. Still nearly side by side. Latifi will send it. Oh, that's dirty. Come on, Nicholas. Come on, you can do better. Come on.
Hey, driver talent.
Bottas now chasing down Esteban Ocon, so the race leaders fall away. Okay, Jensen, mid-race now. Who do you think will win this race?
Esteban Ocon. He's going to win the title. He's going to win next year's title, and he's going to win the next 5 years.
I hate
that's the trend in F1.
I hate
that's the trend. That's the trend in F1.
No.
Yes.
I mean, isn't there like a thing that if a champion wins in Melbourne, like if the driver that wins in Melbourne wins the title, wasn't that like a thing for a while?
Yes. Which is a shame because Bond didn't win 2010. Which I'm still upset about, but you know.
British.
Shut up.
Bottas now battling with Ocon, getting good lines through here. Just is the Mercedes down on the acceleration? Because that's what I think is happening now. Because he loses on the acceleration right out of the corner, but gains it on the braking. And he gets hit with some dirty air. Yeah, he can definitely loses on the corner exits to Ocon. So maybe a better setup from Esteban Ocon, just in general, a better car, which I would doubt. So here we go, Bottas, slipstreaming Esteban Ocon.
Alright, I changed my mind. I think Bottas is going to win this title.
Oh, is that a move from Valtteri Bottas? No, he's staying behind the Frenchman. He decides not to make a move just yet. Makes a mistake and loses heaps of time. Genius. Meanwhile, Zhou and Lundgaard, 9 and 10th. They haven't pitted yet, but I mean, still good effort from them. Obviously, Panther currently 4th in the standings with 12 points. Both of the drivers have scored points. So, it's looking good. Oh, Nissany looks up into turn 1. He scored Williams' first points in 2 years, which is quite amazing, quite frankly. No, in 1 year. In 1 year, because 2020 didn't score points. Back to the battle for the lead. It's Bottas and Ocon side by side. Bottas goes to the inside, pushes Ocon wide. He pushes himself wide, and that's Russell through. That's Russell through Ocon and Bottas side by side. Contact between the two. And it is a Mercedes 1 and 2.
Alright, Mercedes to walk the title.
Plastic fan.
Yeah, I support Mercedes now. I don't have any reasoning behind it. It's just that the car looks nice, I guess. Okay, Ocon. Ocon, come on, please save the sport. Come on, Ocon, dive bomb.
For it.
Dive bomb.
It didn't work. The dive of the bomb did not work. Verstappen wins the fight, or nearly. His car is still dead.
Welcome to the 8th season of Mercedes domination.
No, I mean they have good drivers, they have a good lineup, so you know,
yeah,
you shouldn't be too surprised that they're dominating. They have one of the best cars in the field. Oh, yeah, Ocon is catching up now. Verstappen, despite his engine being a literal poopy poop, is also doing wonders here. Bottas nearly taps his teammate. Nearly. Tsunoda doing an amazing drive. Then we have Lundgaard, Nissany, Zhou, Dragovic, Vettel, Raikkonen, Latifi, and that's Perez's engine smoking again.
Is that just overheating or is it dead?
It's dead. It's dead. Then we have Schumacher, Alonso, Stroll, De La Tra, Sainz, Norris, and your boy Pierre Gasly. Bottas, Russell, and Ocon battling for the lead. Ooh.
Oh, Ocon's just done them all.
Yeah. And look at Max Verstappen, brave for being on the inside considering his lack of power.
And
Jesus Christ, this is so depressing to look at. Bottas and Ocon are battling for the lead. Verstappen, out of nowhere, sends it onto George Russell. And it works. He's up into P3. And now he's in the slipstream of Esteban Ocon. And if slipstream, he can do wonders here. He doesn't dive bomb him though. Actually, no, he does. He does. It's a very late dive bomb from Max Verstappen. He might have punted Ocon out of the way, the side by side into the S section. No. Verstappen gives way to the Frenchman as there you go. That car of Perez has stopped and it's out of the race. So red flags for the Honda users. Russell to the inside of Verstappen. They're going to be side by side into turn 10. Russell round the outside, maybe no. Gets blocked. Ocon and Bottas now battling for the lead. Ocon to the inside. Pushes Bottas very wide. They touch. They're still side by side. Bottas has the better line. Ocon doesn't give up. Ocon is still there. Goes wide. Tries to do a switchback. He doesn't send him, but he's in the place for the move into the next corner. Right on the back of that Mercedes. And the blue Alpine is. And there we go. Ocon to the inside. Once again, he locks up. He sends both of them wide. And that's Max Verstappen into P2. Side by side. Max Verstappen might get into the lead of this race.
It's the wheel to wheel.
Bottas is dead. Bottas is not going to be dead in this situation. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Possibly no. There's so much contact. Verstappen nearly gets spun around by Ocon. Verstappen nearly spun out by Esteban Ocon. That was questionable, but that was some amazing driving. That was some amazing
payback for Brazil in 2018.
Yes, he still remembers. Russell just very, very late move, taps into Ocon, and then Ocon just clips Verstappen. Warning for Esteban Ocon for his little doings. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Bruh. Oh, Russell now makes a mistake. Verstappen is now pretty much fuming, I think. And that's Bottas. He's out of the race.
What's it?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Max Verstappen is out of the race. It's a brake failure. They're out of the race. It's a second double DNF for Red Bull in a row. Yeah, the car just loses it. Rear brakes, I think, locked. I don't know, because he just swerved to avoid Russell. Oh my god. Red Bull is in shambles. Antonio Giovinazzi is P4.
And he's kept that gap steady. I've been looking at the gap for the past few laps. He's been keeping that gap of around 2 seconds for quite a while now.
Oh no, it's another Honda engine. It's another Honda engine. Yuki Tsunoda. No. He was doing so well. He was doing so well. He's gone. I don't believe it. What's going on? Honda is dying. First Perez, then Max, then Yuki Tsunoda. That leaves only Pierre Gasly from the Honda. Look at the smoke this is producing. This is ridiculous. And this is obviously dirtying the track, spraying oil all over it. So not good. This is a disaster for Honda. This is an embarrassment, if you will. Nissany to the inside now. Pushes Tsunoda a bit wide, side by side. Nissany's gonna get it. Tsunoda has no power in the car. No, Tsunoda still fights back like he doesn't know. He's literally a smoke machine. Let's see. When will he retire? He's still battling. He's still battling. And he gives up in the same place as Max Verstappen did. Well, at least he parted nicely. You have to give him credit for that. That leaves us with 19 cars in the running.
Rip.
With Antonio Giovinazzi in 4th. Bloody Lundgaard, Nissany and Zhou 6th, 7th and 8th. Dragovic in 9th and Vettel in 10th. This race is giving me the pressure. Oh, Russell, Ocon.
I think it's safe to say at this point that Alpine's strategy with Alonso questionable.
Yeah. Oh, Ocon knocks it up.
See? Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Lundgaard, Nissany and Zhou in a battle. Dragovic still catching up to us, so we're going to switch between the two views. So the lead battle and those guys, but wow, this really is at worst, to say the least. Zhou and Nissany and Williams with no, but there is no difference between the power units. They're both bad cars with good engines, and then you have the Campos, which is Nida, and oh, Dragovic is coming in soon. So, well, what do you know? Ocon is coming in soon.
That means Daniel Ricciardo would take the lead because he's pitted twice already.
7, yeah, to Giovinazzi.
And it's only about 13 seconds to the lead from that. So, yeah.
Esteban Ocon is going to come about like this lap. Russell and Bottas, everyone is now going low on fuel, which means pit stops. Ocon doesn't come in this lap. Ooh, Russell, a bit of a lick on the good old gearbox. Lock up from Giovinazzi as he's coming into the pit lane. And Daniel Ricciardo, there he is, smug, probably in his cockpit, because he is going to take the lead of this race. On board with George Russell, drivers are even through the S's, as the LEDs you can see in the driver's cockpit flashing, saying, "Hey mate, you can't run him though." Ocon pulls away for this section, but Russell catches up into here. Now Slipstream, the magic of the Mercedes power unit, trademarked. Catching up to Ocon corner by corner. Obviously now the drivers have to think about conserving the components, well not components, but fuel, tyres, so they can have a good in-lap. That's why Ocon pushing away from Russell and slowing down is wearing both of their cars out. But you can see that Ocon is definitely trying to push Russell into a mistake here with strategy. Pierre Gasly is out of the race. All Honda-powered cars
Never Honda.
have retired from the race. It's a brake failure.
Just can't handle the heat.
Possibly. So anyways, freeway battle for the lead. That's a beautiful shot, just a car park. There's Antonio Giovinazzi coming into the pit lane. Let's go in with him.
I'll laugh if he pulls out in front of Raikkonen and kills him.
Let's see. Giovinazzi is in. Will it be a good pit stop? Yes, it is a good pit stop, 3.3. So Giovinazzi is in serious contention of a good race result here.
I think he's gonna jump Raikkonen.
He's gonna jump Raikkonen. He's gonna jump Vettel.
Maybe even he's gonna jump Vettel as well. So if the rest of the cars pit now,
yep, Ricciardo not
podium.
pitting in. So they chose Bottas over Russell. Mercedes have chosen Bottas over Russell, who comes into the pit lane first. So Russell might not make it, I think.
Yeah, it's just been left out to dry.
Has
Pretty much
George
like
Russell been just left out by Mercedes? Like, I don't believe this. He's been the better driver this race.
Right, where's the armchair experts?
Yeah, well, we're the QAnon conspiracy theorists of Formula One.
Right, let's see. Who's going to die?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ocon
No,
coming
no.
in.
Which?
So let's see. Ocon in. Bottas in right behind him. Russell will be on a very close watch as he's coming in this lap. And then you can see Daniel Ricciardo in the background. Synchronized pit stops from Ocon and Bottas. Bottas has got in a bit earlier though. Ooh, this is tight.
Slow pit stops of both of them. What are they playing at?
Bottas jumps Ocon. Ocon is getting held up. Ocon got held up by both. Oh no. Oh no. Esteban Ocon probably wants to end
And
his...
Giovinazzi is in third place right now. And he's probably going to keep that place because Russell is going to pit and probably slotting between himself and Ricciardo.
Oh, that's a lock-up, hopefully. Oh yeah, that's just a massive lock-up from Esteban Ocon, you know. Best way to heat up your tyres.
And flat spot them into 50 pence tyres. I don't know what they say nowadays.
It's tyres.
Yeah, yes, I know they're called tyres. Big round things that make cars go vroom.
No, that's the engine.
No, they're just the things that make the noise, okay? And that's how I rate my end. It doesn't sound like a V10 is rubbish. If it's a V6, it's rubbish. V8, it's rubbish. V12 orgasm.
Yes. No, you can't say that
Anyways.
word. You can't say that word.
Okay, V12.
Also, Russell made it. Russell made it to the pit lane, but I don't think it matters because the pit stop has to be long.
And Ricciardo's
Daniel
passed him now down the
Ricciardo
straight.
for McLaren Formula One team.
5 laps to go, or 6 laps to go if you want to know.
It is 6 laps to go.
Okay,
Antonio Giovinazzi will jump George Russell.
Just about, yeah.
And Vettel, for that matter.
10 laps ago, you wouldn't have been thinking of this as your podium.
Well, oh my god, he stops the car so heavily here. Ferrari is dead.
Rip Ferrari.
Oh no. Mick. What'd you do, Mick?
Don't think low downforce works in this track.
This is not Monza, Mick. Oh, it was Joe coming out of the pit lane and Mick just misjudging it. That's on him. So, that's Latifi through. That's Dragovich trying to get through.
Jesus.
Ben Misery flashbacks for those who know.
Death.
Delatra coming in. Norris low on fuel. Sainz coming in. Right, Ricciardo. I mean, 13-second gap over Antonio Giovinazzi. Then you have Vettel, Russell, Bottas, Raikkonen, Ocon, Lundgaard, Zhou, and Alonso, who's miraculously in the points. Stroll is coming in, so his race is over. Nissany will be promoted to 11th. Latifi to... I'm so confused. Norris is low on fuel. I said it previously, but I don't care.
I think some of the strikers today have just been snorting exhaust fumes or something.
He's inhaling the fumes.
Yes.
I mean, Drogovic and Norris are now being hurt a lot by Delatra, just, you know, being in front of him, because he's coming in. It's not like Norris and Drogovic could have had a chance for points, but you know, there's still hope in the hearts of the fans. Giovinazzi, he's closing a bit on Ricciardo. Oh god, the Delta. The Delta.
Also should mention fastest lap Valtteri Bottas.
Oh yeah, so that's after the pit stop window. Previous was 1:26.2, now it's 1:26.18. Bottas got the fastest lap also in round 1, so Golden Boy, maybe? On board with Esteban Ocon, your pole sitter for this race, chasing down Kimi Raikkonen.
Alright, bold statement, Giovinazzi for the title.
Giovinazzi for the title. He DNF'd in the previous race.
I will shave my hair if Giovinazzi does not win the title.
Oh, mate, do I have info for you? He is catching up though, like, Giovinazzi is catching up to Ricciardo, but I don't think it's significant enough to make a difference. And Ricciardo is...
Yeah, we've got 4 laps to go.
Yeah, 4 to go. See,
right, Mick Schumacher, you know your mission.
Ocon now, right on the back of Kimi Raikkonen. Still a stunning race from Alfa Romeo. Like, you have to say that Alfa Romeo have done a massive step up from literally any of the previous seasons. I mean, did they, honestly speaking, did they even have any good seasons in Formula 1?
No.
I mean, it's still Sauber, sure, but it's Alfa Romeo for now. Sauber has disappeared as a name, so I shall refer to...
Yeah.
Oh no, 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 no!
Don't tell me.
Gearbox is going.
Oh, it's tragedy. Oh no.
He's stuck in second. He's dead. He's dead. I know.
I didn't specify which season I had to shave my hair for. I said Giovinazzi can win in 2029. All I care. I'm just specifying that now.
Back onto Ocon, chasing down Raikkonen down. Oh, Raikkonen. Bruh.
Oh.
Raikkonen just went off. Why is Mick Schumacher in a pit lane?
Raikkonen realised he was supposed to have 40-year-old reactions again.
Did we see this happen? No, this is a new accident. He already came in for a front wing change. What is Mick Schumacher doing?
I mean, for a team like Haas that doesn't have the budget, this is going to be
they're gonna
painful. Mickey.
Mickey Mouse. Depression. This is literally the most depressing moment I have ever seen in racing.
Imagine being a Tifosi. One of your cars is well, I think it's both cars. I'm not sure. One's dead.
Well, Sainz is comparable to being dead.
Sainz is dead. Yeah.
Also,
who is Carlos Sainz?
Aston Martin haven't scored points round 1. Bit of a disaster of a race. qualifying and whatnot. At the moment, driving for their first ever podium in ages in Formula 1. But the Mercedes Zero of Russell and Bottas might put an end to that dream that Sebastian Vettel is currently carrying. What do you think will happen?
I'm just hoping that I don't know, to be honest.
Wait.
Death.
Wait, Russell is low on fuel, but Vettel and Ricciardo, who have pitted earlier and whatnot, are fine.
Germany 2019 strategy, let's go.
Okay, well now they're low on fuel, but basically they got that indicator way later than Russell. They never had a podium. Oh wow, so this will be the first ever podium ever. Ocon followed by Raikkonen. Now we have a bit of a Lundgaard and Joe, separated by Mick Schumacher, who's lapped. And they have Alonso and Nissany battling for 9th, followed by Latifi in 11th and Drogovic in 12th. The lap 1 incidents, well lap 1, the first few major incidents in the race have definitely shaken the order of the field up. So Daniel Ricciardo, basically cruising now.
Right, put your bets in. Does Russell run out of juice?
Oh no.
Also, I'm not contractually obliged to shave my hair.
Their trousers is out. Their trousers is out.
Oh my god.
That's
a
grill. That's a barbecue, mate. The Audi engines are not so good as promised. Russell versus Vettel, let's go. As we're approaching the final lap, as we pass the burning corpse of Deletraz's car. Here we go, final lap has started.
Also, we're into the 125s, Lando Norris fastest lap.
Oh yeah, oh damn, Lando Norris, that's a hell of a fast lap. Let's go, Russell and Vettel now battling for the lead, and we have Ricciardo calmly pulling away. So here we go, Russell chasing down one of his mentors. Let's see. Into turn 4, takes a good line, gets a good exit, follows the Aston Martin through the S's, catches up, under braking, catches up some more. Vettel with a more questionable line. Russell with a better exit, he's right on him, into turn 10 now. No move. Will he do it into the second S section of the circuit? There's no other way. Let's see. Ricciardo has already... Well, he's coming through it now. No, Russell is not making any move here. Russell, in fact, goes a bit wider. Vettel gets a better run now. I think it's over. I think it's over for George Russell's hopes of getting a P2 here.
Unless something bizarre happens.
Oh,
oh
my god, he's gone.
He's gone.
George Russell's gone as Daniel Ricciardo wins.
Get the curb your enthusiasm.
The Bahrain Grand Prix. Vettel will come in second. And he is back on the Formula 1 podium. Followed by Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon will take 4th, Kimi Raikkonen will take 5th. George Russell. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
How can you pit that late? How can you pit that late into the race and still run out of fuel?
He didn't run out of fuel. I don't know what happened here. No, stop. I can get strike for that. So it will be Lundgaard and Joe for another amazing 18-point finish for... No, sorry, 14-point finish. No, yeah, 14 points for Panthera. Alonso was good. Nissany and Latifi will do double points for Williams.
Right, curse season. Williams should be nowhere near points at all.
Who cares about realism?
I know, right?
So, Norris improved from his nap time, look at that. So he steals the points from front runners. No, wait, Lance Stroll now sets the fastest lap.
125.3? Jesus.
Let's
I'm guessing
see.
they're all low on.
Let's see what Signs will do. Up to the line. Up to the line. No. Maybe Norris. No, so Lance Stroll with the fastest lap. There is your race winner, Daniel Ricciardo.
Well then.
Yeah, well done. Driver
No words
of
to
the
describe
day?
that. Driver of the day. I'd have to say Kimi Raikkonen, to be honest. Like with the
Yeah,
start he had, and then he's done a
mind you, three
three
stops
stop
and
strategy, and he's
fifth.
still P5. And to consider he was challenging for the lead at one point.
Oh, so Russell suffered a suspension failure.
Oh,
Oh.
now that is weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, you'd think he'd run out of fuel or something, but no, his suspension just goes boom on the
Maybe he
last lap.
pushed a bit. Maybe that's why he went a bit wide there. Maybe he went wide a bit there, you know, for the first corner, like here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why. Maybe his suspension popped, and the team told him to stop because it's about to shred itself. Or maybe he did shred itself.
yeah.
Anyways, that's the return of MMS Don. That was fairly entertaining.
Yeah.
Next race.
If you're not asleep by now.
Next race, Spanish Grand Prix of Barcelona. Thank you so much
Snooze
for watching.
fest.
Shut up. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.